In the quiet countryside of rural Ohio, life usually moves slowly. Small towns, empty roads, and peaceful farmland stretch for miles. But in the early 1980s, that quiet landscape became the center of a terrifying mystery. People began disappearing under strange circumstances, and rumors spread through the community that someone was hunting humans. What investigators would soon uncover shocked even experienced federal agents. This is the chilling story of a case that brought the FBI deep into rural Ohio and revealed one of the most disturbing crimes the area had ever seen. Rural Ohio in the late 1970s and early 1980s was a place where everyone knew each other. Families had lived in the same towns for generations, and crime was rare. Farmers worked long days in open fields, and neighbors trusted one another. But beneath the peaceful surface, something unsettling began to unfold. Local authorities started receiving reports about missing people and strange encounters near isolated areas of farmland and wooded roads. At first, these incidents seemed unrelated. A traveler gone missing here, a suspicious vehicle seen late at night there. Small-town police departments often lacked the resources to investigate complex cases, especially when evidence was limited. But as reports continued to appear, investigators began to suspect that these events were not random. Some witnesses claimed they had seen unfamiliar vehicles slowly driving along remote roads at night. Others reported hearing gunshots in the distance or noticing suspicious activity near abandoned properties. Rumors quickly spread through the rural communities, creating a growing sense of fear. What had once been a peaceful region was slowly becoming the focus of a disturbing investigation. As the number of strange incidents increased, local authorities realized they needed help. The situation was becoming more serious than anyone had first believed. With multiple reports of disappearances and suspicious activity, the case soon caught the attention of federal investigators. The FBI began reviewing the evidence, interviewing witnesses, and analyzing patterns in the reports. What they discovered raised even more questions. Many of the incidents appeared to be connected to remote areas far away from busy towns or highways. These locations offered isolation, the kind of places where criminal activity could remain hidden for long periods of time. Investigators began mapping the areas where the strange reports had occurred. Patterns slowly started to emerge, suggesting that someone may have been deliberately targeting victims in rural locations. For experienced agents, the possibility that a person might be deliberately hunting victims in isolated areas was deeply disturbing. If true, it meant the crimes had been carefully planned and executed in places where help was miles away. The investigation intensified as federal agents worked alongside local police departments, searching for any clue that could lead them to the person responsible. As the investigation progressed, authorities uncovered disturbing evidence that pointed toward a calculated pattern of behavior. Witness testimonies, physical evidence, and investigative work began to reveal a much darker picture than anyone had initially expected. Agents discovered that certain remote locations had been used repeatedly, suggesting that the suspect was familiar with the rural landscape and understood how to avoid detection. Slowly, the pieces of the case began to fall into place. Investigators followed leads, examined evidence, and continued gathering information from people who might have unknowingly crossed paths with the suspect. The case eventually reached a turning point when authorities were finally able to identify and confront the individual connected to the crimes. What they uncovered shocked the local community and confirmed many of the fears that had been circulating for months. For residents of rural Ohio, the realization that such crimes had been happening so close to home was deeply unsettling. Cases like this remind us that even the quietest places can hide dark secrets. The investigation in rural Ohio became one of the most disturbing cases local authorities had ever faced. And it showed just how complex criminal investigations can become when crimes take place in isolated locations. But this case was only one of many chilling investigations documented in the FBI files. In the next episode, we'll explore another real crime story where investigators uncovered a hidden criminal operation that had remained undetected for years.